All right. Hello, everyone. I know people are still kind of hopping on with us as we get started, but thank you so much to those of you who are joining us for today. My name is Amanda. I'm with Mental Health America of Hawaii. Just a quick little housekeeping, couple things before I pass it off to our awesome presenters for today. We are in a meetings format, so you do have the ability to turn your camera on. It is up to you if you would like to leave it on or not, but we are asking that you remain muted just to help minimize any distractions, so we can hear our presenters clearly throughout the day. As you heard when we started, today is being recorded, so we will be making this recording available to you in that follow-up email. And with that, I have the pleasure of introducing Bria, who is the treasurer for the Malio Foundation, and she will take it away from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us today. My name is Bria Lonnie Calloway, and I am here on behalf of the Malio Foundation, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to support the overall health and well-being of the people of Hawaii through increasing access to the healing arts. Having access to complementary healing arts can powerfully transform our relationship to ourselves and to the world around us through gaining knowledge of life force energy. And as a nonprofit, we achieve our goals by hosting free workshops for the community, offering partial scholarships for training, supporting healing clinics that are free of charge, and providing financial help for those in need of healing services. We also form partnerships with aligned people and organizations to increase the impact of our work as we move together towards our vision of a world of greater harmony and unity. So if you're interested in learning more or applying for a scholarship or collaborating, please visit our website at maliofoundation.org and get in touch with us. I would like to thank Brian and Amanda and everyone at Mental Health America of Hawaii for partnering with us and inviting us here to share some tips with you about how you can use an energy healing modality called Pranic Healing to relieve stress in your everyday lives. So let me introduce our speaker today. Her name is Lisa Burney. She is a certified pranic healing instructor and has been practicing energy healing since 1999, exploring many different energy healing modalities. Originally a trial attorney, she experienced some stress-related health issues and was surprised at how powerful and effective pranic healing was as a complementary practice for her own personal healing. She is now a full-time pranic healing practitioner and instructor. She uses the tools of subtle energy to help people achieve their goals in all aspects of their lives. Sorry if you can hear the chickens going off in the background right now. But let me just say that I have had the privilege of receiving healings from and learning from Lisa, and she is truly a fountain of knowledge and a deeply compassionate individual. She is also a member of the board for the Malio Foundation, and her skills have proved invaluable so many times over. So without any further ado, I will turn it over to Lisa.
Thank you, Bria and Amanda, and thank you, Brian, for inviting me to speak here today. I'm so pleased to be here and share this information about pranic healing with all of you. Pranic healing has literally changed the trajectory of my life, both personally and professionally. Pranic healing has changed how I look at self-care, how I engage with and support my own personal health and well-being, as well as that of my family and of my pets. My goal today is to share as much information as possible over the next 45 minutes, saving some time for questions at the end so that you can use this introduction to pranic healing as a starting point for exploring new ways to engage in stress relief, self-care, and empowering yourself to support your own health and well-being by incorporating some or all of these practices into your daily routine. I'll cover theory, we'll do some practice, but please keep in mind that this is a very abbreviated introduction, and that there is so much more to learn than what I'm able to present today. So let's begin by introducing what pranic healing is, which is a no-touch energy healing practice that helps the body's ability to heal itself. It's based on principles that go back thousands and thousands of years. It shares a lot of these concepts and principles with acupuncture. And in fact, it's often called acupuncture without needles, because we're working with the same premise that we're tuning up the body's energy fields to clear out the old energy, to balance, and then replace with fresh energy. Grandmaster Choakok Sui is the founder of this modality, and he created it by synthesizing many ancient healing techniques. This practice started in the Philippines, and it is now a global healing modality. The practices and the techniques we'll be covering today include scanning, which is the ability to feel this subtle energy, this invisible energy. The practice of cord cutting, which is disconnecting from undesirable energies. We'll be doing a practice of general sweeping, which is kind of like an overall energy shower for your energy body. The practice of super brain yoga, which is super energizing our ability to focus, to concentrate, to be motivated by sending extra energy up to the brain. And I'll go over 3 different types of meditations that we use to shift our energy body, shift our nervous system from that fight or flight into rest and relax, so that we can shift out of that stress and anxiety and into a more relaxed, more comfortable way of being. So that's the plan for today. Let's get started. And then again, we'll save maybe 10 or 15 minutes of questions at the end. So if there's questions that you have during the presentation, you can just make a note of them and then save them for the end. One of the things that is important to emphasize at this point about pranic healing is that it's always intended as a complementary modality. So please continue using your existing therapies. And if you're not familiar with energy healing as a practice, as a modality, some of the things that we're talking about today may seem kind of novel or maybe a little bit strange. On first review. What I'd ask you to do is to just listen carefully, analyze the information, perform your own experiments, and make your own conclusion based on how the practices feel in your body. Okay, you're not required to believe anything that we're talking about today just blindly, but please do engage with the material and try it out for yourself and see how it feels. I know when I started pranic healing, I was very much a within, in the box Western medicine type of practice in my life. I didn't know anything about energy healing. I barely knew about acupuncture. Talking to me about energy fields would have gotten like a really blank stare. So as I engaged with this material, I went through this process of a paradigm shift. And what I've learned is that it's a very common experience for people as they're diving into this information to go through these 3, these different stages. And the first stage is to really understand that there's more to us than meets the eye. Yes, we have a visible physical body, but we also have an invisible energetic body. It's almost like a magnetic field, invisible like that, around our physical body. And the important thing to remember is that these energy fields act like a template for the physical body, for our emotional experience. And when the energy body is clean and balanced and flowing smoothly, then we experience balance both in physical health and mental health. The way energy healing approaches healing, emotional healing, is to understand that when there's an imbalance or a disturbance in the energy field, then that shows up either as a physical symptom or an emotional experience. And that the important thing to remember is that these symptoms really are simply just pointing to an imbalance in the energy field. And this is why when we do the practice of pranic healing, we're not working on the body specifically, we're working in the space around the body, in the energy field, because this is where we have, this is where we have the life force, the prana, the chi, the mana, the ki. This is the life force that supports the healing of the physical body. What pranic healing does is it teaches us these techniques to optimize the energy body, to make the energy field stronger and more balanced, which supports healing on both the physical and the emotional level. Okay. The first practice we're going to be exploring is this practice called scanning. And scanning is really sensitizing the hands, the physical hands, the energy hands, to be able to pick up these really subtle energies that are surrounding everybody. And what we're seeing in the picture here is this woman's hands feeling the energy field, the prana or the chi from the surroundings. And we're going to do exactly that today. What scanning helps us do is explore the condition and the strength of the energy body. So we get some real-time feedback on what's happening in this invisible world. Here's a quote that I love. Only he who can see the invisible can do the impossible. And this is often what I feel like when I'm scanning, because yes, you know, we're moving our hands, what looks like an empty space. But if you think about what's really there, there's so much in that empty space that's just invisible energy. And we're using the energy sensitivity of our hands to pick that information up. And when we can work in this invisible world, it's amazing the things that we can do. So let's go through the idea of what scanning is. And first, I want to emphasize that anybody can learn. Everybody has the capacity to develop this sensitivity. It's just that we all start at a different place. So some of you may feel like you're already sensitive in your hands. Others of you may not have any feedback from the energy world, but just know that this is a skill that anyone can develop, that we use our hands to detect the prana in the energy body. But what I want to emphasize at this point is that scanning is not a requirement in order for the pranic healing techniques that we're going to learn to be effective. It's just extra information for us. The techniques will work whether we're experiencing the feedback in our hands or not. Okay, so here are the steps to do. Here are the steps to do scanning. First, and I'd like to, as I talk this through, have you try this out on your own. So just sitting deeply in your chair with your feet on the floor. Slow your breathing down so that it's an abdominal breathing, slow and deep. And just take a few breaths like that. As you're doing your breathing, we're going to do some gentle physical exercises. So just some wrist circles in one direction and then wrist circles in the other direction. I'm going to open and close the fingers slowly and deliberately. And then just stretch the arm just like that. And then stretch the other arm. Okay. And as we're doing this next step with our palms facing each other, we're just going to form the intention that the hand, the energy of the hand is sensitive to this energy that's in between the hands. Maybe some of you have done this practice, feeling the energy ball, and just focusing on bringing your hands together slowly, pulling them apart slowly, and just notice what you're feeling. Now, if you're watching this video on replay, you can pause here and play with this for as long as you want, okay? But our next step is going to be to start feeling the energy field around the body. So any place around the arms, the hands, the shoulders, you can scan the hip, the legs, front of the body, side of the body, anywhere around, with the intention that you're going to be feeling where the edge of that etheric body is, where the edge of that energy field is closest to the physical body. And you'll know that you're at that edge when you feel pressure, or you feel tingling, or you feel warmth as you're moving your hand towards your physical body. Okay. So scanning gives us information about the condition of the energy field. And it's a good practice to check in on your energy body at least once a day, just to see where it's at and get familiar with it in that way. Okay. Our first technique for practice is going to be this practice called cord cutting. And what cord cutting does is it allows us to disconnect energetic attachments that have a tendency to drain our energy reserves. Okay. And the pictures I have here of the scissor cutting this cord, or right here where the wire is plugging into the wall, is representative of how an energy cord plugs into our energy field. Okay. Here's a quote that really encapsulates what a cord cutting experience can be. Okay, this person says, as the stress of the day begins to wear on me, I cut any cords that I don't want connected. Immediately, I feel like a different person. And this is my experience as well. When I start to feel like a little run down, or I feel like my energy is getting a little slow, I'll take a moment and I'll do this practice that we're about to learn and cut all inappropriate cords. And I'm not kidding. Immediately, I just feel my energy levels rise up, feel stronger. I feel more invigorated, and I have more enthusiasm to keep doing what I was doing. So the idea behind cord cutting is that we're continually establishing energetic cords with whatever we're paying attention to. And sometimes we tend to accumulate cords to worry, to fear, to anxiety. They mostly connect at this area in the solar plexus. So right here in the center, the midpoint of the torso. Okay. And what it can look like, I have a little visual aid here, is that it can look like something like this, connecting to the center of our torso as an inappropriate cord connecting out into the world. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm just going to leave this here as a demo. The first thing we're going to do, again, is connecting with ourselves back into our body, breathing slowly and deeply. So please join me in doing this practice. And then you're going to put your hands on the center line, one above the head, and then one below at the mid-body, and forming the intention that your hands are connecting in and gathering all inappropriate and unauthorized cords. And what it looks like without the visual aid is just this practice of moving your hands towards the center line, Again, you'll feel that bump or that pressure or that tingling or whatever your experience of energy is. And then what you'll be doing is with your dominant hand, going and doing this cut, cut, cut motion, and then taking the cord that's in your other hand and just throwing it into the ocean. Okay, throwing it into the sea. All right, so the practice again is one hand above and one hand below, moving your hands towards each other, gathering all inappropriate unauthorized cords, cut, 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 and then throwing it into the sea. Okay, and typically we repeat this process 3 repetitions. Okay, but if you're sensitive to energy and you feel your hands moving past each other, then you know from that you've cleared all of the cords. Okay, so continue going with the cutting process until you feel the smoothness of that energy experience in front of your body. Okay, so the magic words are inappropriate and unauthorized cords, although you could specifically say cords to anxiety or cords to worry. Okay, and then you would just be cutting exclusively those. Next, the practice of general sweeping. So this is based on the idea that the energy body accumulates old energy, used up energy, stale energy, congested energy, or prana. In a similar way to how this carpet has just accumulated a lot of grime or dust or debris, and that when we vacuum, we all of a sudden see the fresh, clean carpet, right? In the same way, this image with the shower, okay? The water that's coming out of this side is blocked. It's not flowing smoothly. There's impediments to the flow of water. And you could say the same thing about the flow of energy in our energy field, that it needs to be cleaned and cleared so that we have this fresh, strong flow of energy in our energy body. Okay, so general sweeping is working on the entire energy field around our physical body. And so here we go with a testimonial from a Pranic Healing student who said, I felt exhausted and drained. My back was tense. I was emotionally upset. And after 10 minutes of general sweeping, my back relaxed. My emotions were clear. I was amazed. This is a very common and consistent experience with general sweeping. It's an overall energy shower that clears all of the lower frequency stuck energy out of our energy field. And it's really true that you feel completely different after doing a thorough general sweeping. So the theory for this practice is that it deeply removes the stuck energy, and we use our hands, our physical hands and our energy hands, to manually sweep this energy out. Okay, so as I'm doing the demonstration, you are welcome to practice along. And the first thing that we'll be doing is starting with, you can stand up for this because it's easier to do standing. We're starting with the first sweep down the center line of the body. Okay, and we're going to be using our hands in a dog paddle motion from the head to the toe. Now I'm using my hands just like 6 inches in front of my physical body, and I'm going to dog paddle all the way down to my feet, although the camera's not capturing that. And then I'm going to throw that energy into the ocean. Okay, now I'm going to be moving to the left side of my body, and the left side of my body I'm going to break up into 2 separate tracks. Okay, so the first line on the left side, repeating the dog paddle motion from the head down to the toes. all the way down and then into the ocean. And then the next line is the edge of the left side of the body, all the way down, 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 and then throw that into the ocean. Right side of the body, okay, starting at the top. Now, as you're doing this practice on your own, feel free to go as slow as you would like, okay? I'm just moving along here because of our time restraints. You could very easily do a general sweeping in a much slower way, okay? And so this is the right side, the second line on the right side. So that's covered the entire front of the energy body. Now we're going to do the back of the energy body. And how do we do that, right? We do this using the process of visualization. So I'm going to just imagine myself standing in front of me with my back to me, okay? So it's as if I'm looking at a picture of my back. And I'm going to repeat the entire process, the center line, 2 lines on the left, 2 lines on the right. So let's do that, okay? So down the center line of this visualization of my back, down to my feet, and then throw that into the ocean. 2 lines on the left side. Let's go. Left side, line number 1. Good. And then line number 2. Now pay attention as you're doing this, because you may actually feel some areas of energy that feel thick, or they feel like there's some blockages. You can spend a little extra time working in that area. Right side of the body, first line, doggy paddling down. Good. And then second line on this visualization of my back, right side, and then into the ocean. Okay, so that is the practice of general sweeping. What we just demonstrated is one set, and it's very typical for a practitioner to do 2 sets, 3 sets, and what that would look like is doing the practice on the front, and then doing the practice on the back, and then doing the practice on the front, and then the practice on the back. And so you alternate front and back for as many times as you feel your body needs. So that is general sweeping. The next technique that we'll be exploring is called super brain yoga. So we've cut cords, we've done general sweeping. Now we're ready to direct some of this fresh energy that's flowing up into the brain to help increase focus, increase motivation, energizing the actual brain itself with fresh energy. And so these pictures here, this one is me doing a demonstration on the AM Northwest television show here in Portland. And then this is a group of students that were in a class that I held here. And what you're seeing is what looks like kind of an unusual hand position, body position, but let me explain. Here's a testimonial by Dr. Robbins, who's a medical doctor, and he is also a pranic healing practitioner. He says, I taught my relative the super brain yoga technique, which took only 2 minutes. He suddenly became very focused when doing his schoolwork. It was like a different child was sitting quietly at the table, motivated to learn with his attention directed at the homework. People have experiences like this when they're practicing super brain yoga on a regular basis. And I will say that the best application of this technique is to do it regularly, because the benefits are cumulative, right? So this is just like if you just went to the gym one time and you did some bicep curls, You know, you may get some benefit from that, but if you never did another bicep curl again, it basically, you know, would be all for nothing. So Super Brain Yoga literally takes less than a minute to do. And it's something that we're encouraged to do every day to keep the energy, strong energy flowing up to the brain. Now, I will say that the Super Brain Yoga practice is usually taught in its own like 2-hour module workshop. You guys are getting an extremely shortened version of this today. And I want to emphasize at this point that there are a lot of materials that you can access that will tell you more about Super Brain Yoga. There's research, there's a lot of in-depth material that I have links to on my webpage if you're interested in learning more about, you know, the totality of the practice. But here we are, we're going to jump right in and do this. Standing up again with your feet hip distance apart. Okay. The first step is to take your left hand, and this is really super important that we make sure we're using our left hand, and gently hold the right earlobe, okay? And you can see the picture in the first circle that the thumb is on the front of the earlobe, okay? So you may have to twist your wrist just a little bit because it's slightly different from how you might naturally grab your earlobe. Then take your right hand and gently hold the left earlobe, okay? And all of this goes back to a lot of theory about auricular acupuncture that you can read more about, but just know that there's a reason for doing this that's based energetically. And then what you see in the next two pictures are people doing a series of squats. Now, it may not be realistic to squat as far down as you're seeing in the picture, so please modify your squat to your body's range of motion, okay? It could very easily just be a quarter squat like this, or it could be a half squat. But let's do 7 squats to your comfort zone, breathing in on the way down, and then exhaling on the way up. So ready? Let's go. 1, inhale, exhale. 2, inhale, exhale. 3, inhale, exhale. 4, inhale, exhale. 5, inhale, exhale. 6, inhale, exhale. 7, inhale, exhale. Done. Okay, release your hand and then you can come back and sit down. Now let's just take a moment and look at our inner landscape. How does that feel? Do you feel like a rush of energy up to your head? Does it feel like a little tingly? If you're feeling like a lot of rush of energy, you may just want to slow down or do less than 7 to start, and then work up to 7 to a maximum of 21 squats in one day. The recommendation is to do these in the morning or the afternoon, but because they're so energizing for the brain, really not recommended to do these in the evening, because then you may end up being up all night, because it's really designed to be increasing our attention, our alertness. So like the perfect time to do it could be like around 3 o'clock, when that like mid-afternoon doldrums just sort of settle in. You can do a little bit of energizing, or anytime you need a little bit of increased focus. I know for the people I work with, I recommend, especially if they're students in school, that they do this before they go to school in the morning. And then they do this again after they come home, if they have homework to do, right before doing the homework. Okay. Next, meditations. So meditations, the 3 meditations that we're going to be covering today are meditation on twin hearts, meditation on violet waterfall, and then meditation on the white light. And so here's a testimonial for meditation on twin hearts. And she says, the meditation on twin hearts always leaves me with a great feeling of unconditional love, peace, clarity, loving kindness, and wholeness. Negative people and stressful situations don't affect me as easily as they used to. And I can definitely say this has been my experience with the meditation on twin hearts as well. I feel like this meditation has helped me remove all of those buttons that people just love to push. And I've been in situations where I can reflect back that years ago, I would have responded, I would have reacted in a totally different way. But for the practice of this meditation on twin hearts has helped me shift to a place where I'm not reacting that way anymore. And so I have found that this practice has been extremely, extremely worthwhile. The idea behind meditation is that it helps shift our energy body. It helps shift our nervous system from the fight or flight response to the rest and relax, from including a reduced heart rate, including lowered blood pressure, including greater feelings of well-being. And there's been so much research done over the last 10, 20 years on meditation in general, that it's hard to believe that it's not as in greater acceptance than it is right now, because it just does so much for us and our mental and emotional health. There's also a lot of scientific research that's been done specifically on the meditation on twin hearts. And what that is showing us is on the energetic level, the meditation on twin hearts increases the heart energy, which increases the capacity for loving kindness. The meditation on twin hearts is itself a guided loving kindness meditation. So it's really focused on the heart center. And this increased heart energy increases our capacity for loving kindness and helps lift depression energy, helps us clear agitation and irritability from our energy body. This meditation also has the effect of increasing our overall vibration, which helps elevate and shift our perspective on life. And it's really a real thing. The parallel process is that it also helps to clear the lower frequencies of energy, like anxiety, like stress, like depression, that tends to veil or obscure our awareness of positive options, because these energies tend to have us focus on failure options. But when we do the meditation twin hearts in the morning or in the evening, this infusion of energy helps create a more positive, smooth, and easy flow to our day. And what I notice is things happen more easily when my energy is in alignment. Not so many projects go sideways. There's just more ease and flow to the day. I have a more positive outlook. And this is truly the magic of meditation on twin hearts. The recommendation for implementing this is to meditate at the same time each day, preferably in the same spot. It's almost like you're anchoring the energy of that meditation, and it helps us to generate this practice as a habit. Okay. It's also recommended to do physical exercises for about 5 minutes before and after. It can be super easy, just flow movement. It could be a little 5 minutes of hatha yoga. It could be jumping jacks. It could be a walk with your dog, okay? But some kind of physical exercise before and after. Recommended to wear comfortable, loose-fitting clothing, take off your shoes, turn off your phone, and then sitting in a comfortable chair with your back straight, but not tense, with your feet flat on the floor, and starting with a breathing practice, abdominal breathing. And then it couldn't be easier. Each of these meditations are guided audio tracks. So you just click play and you sit back and you listen to the meditation. And that's the practice, okay? The 3 meditations that I'd invite you to explore. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to practice any of these today, but I will direct you to links where you can listen to the audio at your own time. The first meditation is that meditation on twin hearts, which is a guided meditation based on the universal loving kindness meditation, the prayer of St. Francis. The practice is to visualize the earth in front of you, and with your hands in blessing position, just shower it with love from your heart. And there's a little bit more to it, but the practice is basically focusing on the heart energy center and the crown energy center. And the effect of this meditation is that it provides a deep emotional healing, and it's very soothing and calming. The second meditation for your exploration is the violet waterfall meditation. And this is a lovely one. It's also guided visualization of a walk through nature to, you guessed it, a violet waterfall. And the practice is allowing the flow of that water to flow through your energy body, flow through your physical body to wash away any emotions that you want to release. And this practice, this meditation is very restoring and refreshing. Each of these is like a 15-minute meditation. The meditation on the white light is, again, a guided meditation that is a gentle visualization of the movement of energy circulating through the energy body. It strengthens the overall energy, and it also balances the energy fields left and right, front and back, top and bottom. So if you ever have a day where you're just feeling like not yourself, or just things feel a little funky, this is a great meditation to do that helps you be more in your body, helps you be more grounded, more balanced, and in alignment. And each of these meditations are appropriate to do on a daily basis. And you may want to rotate through them, or you may find one that you really like and you just want to keep doing that one every day. So your choice. Now, a potential daily practice could look something like this, where every morning you just check in, you do a little bit of scanning on your energy body and see how that feels. You know, what's the size of your energy body? How's the quality of your energy body feel? And you may notice that some days it's very consistent, and then other days you may wake up and it feels like, wow, it's like very small. It's like very low. And for me, that would be a signal, that would be an alert to say something changed in your energy body that really reduced the amount of energy there. And so this would be a perfect time to do some of these extra techniques to try and remediate that, okay? Which the first one would be the cord cutting. So you do that practice. Then you would do the general sweeping. Then you could do the super brain yoga, and then fit in a meditation in your day. And so you would evaluate the strength of your energy field. You would disconnect from inappropriate, unauthorized cords morning and evening. You would clear out the old, congested, used up energy through the general sweeping process. Then you would increase your motivation by strengthening the energy flowing to your brain, and then infuse your entire energy field with inner peace with the meditation practice. Now, if you're interested in learning a little bit more, here are some resources that are available. This book, Your Hands Can Heal You, is extremely full of amazing information that's written in a really accessible way. Sometimes you read a lot of these books and they seem very like esoteric and hard to understand. This book is very approachable, and it actually works you through chapter by chapter in a larger version of this daily practice that we just talked about. If you're the sort of person who prefers to learn in a classroom experience than from a book, there are some options. There's this Pranic Self-Healing online class. It's an 8-hour class, and you learn the basics of using Pranic Healing for self-healing. And you can learn more about those options on this website, pranichealing.com. If you prefer an in-person class, those are available. You can look at this website, pranichealinghawaii.com, and that works with this book, The Miracles Through Pranic Healing textbook. Some resources for your exploring meditations online include these two. This is my website that has a page that has the audio and actually some video of the meditations. And the one I especially recommend is the meditation on Twin Heart video that shows what's happening energetically as we're doing each step of the meditation. So the first time through, you may just want to watch the video and see what's happening in the energy body. And it's a fascinating video to watch. The other resource is the Insight Timer app, and that's free to download, and these meditations are free to listen to. But I have each of those audio tracks of the meditation Twin Hearts with a couple of different variations, the Violet Waterfalls, and then the meditation on the white light available for you to listen to on demand. All of these are on demand, so you could, like at 2 in the morning, hop on to any of these and listen to them. So on behalf of your Pranic Healing team, I just want to introduce us all. Master Choka Sui is the modern day founder of Pranic Healing, and his organization based in the Philippines is the Institute for Inner Studies. Master Stephen Ko is the person in charge of the Western United States, which includes Hawaii. And his organization is the U.S. Pranic Healing Center based in Los Angeles. And Susan is the instructor and director of the Hawaii Pranic Healing Center on Oahu. So she is your local instructor. I'm a visiting instructor. I come to the island a couple of times a year. But if you have the opportunity to visit with Susan, she offers healing nights and meditation events at the Pranic Healing Center on Oahu. So congratulations, you now have a whole new way of looking at the world, of looking at your health, and an amazing toolkit full of tools and exercises to increase your energy and accelerate self-healing. And so what I hope you do is explore these techniques and apply these principles and practice the exercises regularly so that you can empower yourself and enjoy new levels of health and wellness. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you be well and that your life is full of balance that this picture is representing. If there's anything that you'd like to follow up with me, this is my direct email, lisa@pranichealing.com. And I look forward to continuing this journey with you. So thank you so much. If there's any questions.
We don't have any questions in the chat right now, but if anybody does have questions, or if not, thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Looks like you're getting a lot of thank yous in the chat. So we appreciate your knowledge and expertise and you taking the time to spend with us and teaching us some really great information.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Right. I'm also not seeing any chat questions or people unmuting themselves, so we can give you about 10 minutes back to your lunch hour if you're here in Hawaii, or 10 minutes back to your day if you're outside of Hawaii. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us once again. We will see you next time and take care. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.